Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our daily Facebook posts, where we're offering practices and teachings on the Buddha's Eightfold Path and how we can bring these to bear on these difficult times. Today, I'd like to offer a teaching through a story. I really like to teach with stories. They seem to me like they're three-dimensional, whereas maybe just talking about something is more two-dimensional. The story really kind of brings it alive or rounds it out. So I'll start with a story and then we'll unpack it a little bit and see how it relates to what we've been talking about in the last few days in terms of the Four Noble Truths. Once upon a time, there was a person who was very keen on becoming enlightened. They had had a difficult life and had kind of stumbled onto some meditation practice and was just kind of doing it on their own a little bit and saw the value in it, but felt like they really needed a teacher and wanted to find a teacher. And so this person set out on a journey to find an enlightened teacher. And they would ask people, do you know an enlightened teacher that I can practice with? And some people would say no. Most people would say no, but enough people, maybe 2 or 3 different people said, I've never met this person, but I've heard that there is an enlightened master up in the mountains. You may find them there. So this was enough for this person to set off on a journey up into the mountains. And they walked. This was a walking journey. This was a long time ago, this story. And they walked up into the mountains and they would stop at villages and ask, have you heard of an enlightened master that lives up in these mountains? And everyone they asked said, no, I don't know of any. So they kept going higher into the mountains, and the paved roads became 2-track roads, and the villages became hamlets as this person got higher in the mountains and kept asking, do you know of the enlightened master that's said to live up here? And people said no. But this person was very keen on studying with enlightened master and really wanted to wake up, so they kept going higher into the mountains. And one morning, as this person was about to leave their little camp and get on the trail, now there were no roads, there were just trails through the forests and the mountains. And this person was setting out for the day, and they saw someone coming down the trail from above, from higher up. And when this person got closer, they noticed that this person was carrying a large sack over their back. And as this person approached, they exchanged greetings, and the person who was looking for the master said, have you heard of a master who lives up in these mountains? Now, what this person didn't know, that the person carrying the sack coming down the trail was actually the master, just dressed in ordinary, peasant clothes. And the master said, no, I know of no master that lives in these mountains. And the person was kind of used to getting this answer. And they said, well, do you know of anything about enlightenment? And right at that question, the master let go of the sack and it fell, thump, and hit the ground with a thud. And at that moment, the person who was looking for enlightenment's mind opened. And they became enlightened. And they stood there for a few moments, kind of like shocked at what had just happened. And then they looked at the master and said, well, now what? And the master reached down, grabbed the sack, threw it over their shoulder, and continued walking down the path. So there are a few teachings in this story, but the main teaching that I'd like to point to today is the letting go of the sack and letting it drop on the ground. And this, of course, is a teaching. It's a example of letting go in the mind, letting go of craving. If we remember this second noble truth, the noble truth of craving, the Buddha said this is to be abandoned, or you can substitute let go of for that. So letting go of that which we carry around that's burdensome. It's burdensome to carry a sack over your shoulder, heavy, walking through life. You know, the Buddha said, let it go, put it down. And so this relationship between the second noble truth and the third noble truth, the second noble truth of craving, the third noble truth of nibbana, or the ending of craving, enlightenment. When we abandon the second noble truth and let go of craving, what's left over is the mind free of craving, which is synonymous with enlightenment. Now, what's interesting about, if you think about it, letting go of craving, it presumes that we've already held on, that we're already holding on, and there's already craving in the heart and mind. And so what's important here is that this is not a problem if we become aware of it. In fact, it's an opportunity to let go. But so often we become aware of, you know, the defilements in the mind that's wanting, the mind that's not wanting, that's desirous, that's angry, etc. We become aware of that and we go, oh, you know, bad yogi, blew it again. I'm never going to get this. And of course, that's judgment. And there's no possibility of letting go at that moment because now judging is filling the mind. But if we can suspend judgment when we become aware of defilements in the mind and see it as an opportunity to let go, an opportunity to actually free the mind, then that's a whole different story, isn't it? It's like, oh boy, I see craving in the mind. Oh boy, a chance to let go, a chance to experience the mind free from craving. It's like seeing the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Let's do some formal practice now and have opportunities, I'm sure, even in these just 5 minutes or so that we do the formal practice of craving arriving in the mind, being known, mindfulness arises and knows it, and then the opportunity to let go, to let the sack drop, to put the burden down. Okay, let's come into the posture that we're going to do the formal practice in. Maybe close the eyes. Kind of this manifestation of going inward, the eyes closing. And relax into the posture. Even this relaxing is a form of letting go, isn't it? This is habitual holding we have in the body. Let it go. Let it soften. Ajahn Sucitto says, train the mind with the body. And so we let go with the body as a way to help train the mind to let go. Letting go with the body, settling, relaxing, softening. Sinking down. Letting the attention sink down into the body, knowing the body somatically from the inside out. Letting the attention rest with these sensations of body, sensations of breath. Being embodied as we feel the breath. feeling each in and out breath as sensations in the body, washing through the body. And as we're sitting here, just minding our own business, paying attention to sensations of body and breath, we may notice that wanting or not wanting has crept into the mind. Maybe you're at home and there's noise somewhere in the house, and you feel an aversion to that, a tensing against it, not wanting it. Maybe making it hard to hear my voice. And at some point you realize, oh, tightening, not wanting, aversion in the mind. And you let go. You let go with the body to help train the mind. You let go of the tension that has crept into and built up in the body. You let go of wanting the situation to be different than it is. Soften and open to things just as they are. Dropping the burden. Experiencing, even if for a moment, the mind free from craving. Connecting back with the sensations of body and breath. Maybe the body feels a little agitated today, or a little painful, not quite the way you'd like it. And maybe you notice yourself shifting or squirming a little bit, just trying to get it to be a little different. And then you notice that. You notice the mind making demands on life to be different than it is. And you remember to let go. Relaxing the body, letting it be just as it is, even if it's full of discomfort. Letting go of the need for it to be different. Letting go in the mind. Relaxing into and opening to things just as they are. Putting down the burden. The Buddha taught freedom through non-clinging. Every time mindfulness arises and we become aware of craving in the mind is an opportunity to experience freedom through non-clinging by putting down the burden, by letting go. And I would suggest using the body and letting go in the body, relaxing, softening, as a way to support the mind letting go. I hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favorites. It's so simple and direct. You kind of can't miss the teaching in it. And so as you go about your day, when mindfulness arises and becomes aware of craving, because if we're not aware of it, there's nothing to do. Um, we're just bound and suffering until we become aware of it. Now there's a chance. This is why mindfulness is the bedrock, the foundation of all Dharma practice. It's what makes freedom possible. So when you become aware of craving in the mind, either you're wanting more of something or you're not wanting something to happen, try to remember this is an opportunity for freedom. This is not, a signal that I've blown it. This is an opportunity to let go, to let that sack drop and experience the lightness of the mind free from clinging. Okay, I wish you well in that practice. I wish you well in all ways. And we will see you back here next time. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.